Hey everybody, Coach Troy here. Now today I've got two games that are kind of similar in Go Nuts for Donuts and Sushi Party Go. Now I'm going to compare these two and see which one, if any, is right for you. Let's do it. Now I've got two card drafting games here, both published by GameRight, but Go Nuts for Donuts here is designed by Zach Eagle, while Sushi Party Go was designed by the legendary Phil Walker Harding. Now, as they have different designers, even though they are card drafting games, they use very different drafting mechanics, all right? So here's a real quick rundown of how that goes. Here's what Phil Walker Harding has for us in Sushi Go Party. Players are dealt a hand of cards. On a turn, all players select a card from their hand, place it face down in front of them, then pass their hand to the left. After all hands are passed, players simultaneously flip over their chosen card and add it to their tableau. This is done till all decks are gone. Then, scores are added based on how cards interact with each other. This is done for 3 rounds, alternating the direction you pass your hand. At the end of the 3rd round, whoever's got the most points wins. In Go Nuts for Donuts, we've got a slightly different style of drafting. We have several cards face up in the middle of the table, depending on how many players we have. Players then select a number from their deck correlating to a card on the table. Once all players have selected a number, they then flip. If no other player has the same number as you, then you get that card. If anyone has matching numbers, that card is then discarded and nobody gets it. New cards are then dealt to replace missing cards, and the next round begins. Some cards will have immediate effects to resolve before the next round. After the last cards are dealt, scores are tallied based on how cards interact with each other, and the highest score wins. Now both games here play in about 20 minutes, give or take, when you consider in the player count. So they're about tied right there. But speaking of player count, Donuts plays between 2 and 6, while Sushi Go Party will go all the way up to 8 players, with the sweet spot for both being about 5, I would say. That's where I like them the best. That being said, you can deviate more with Sushi Go Party and still have good games between 3 and 8, where I would definitely try to stick with either 5 or 6 players with Donuts. So I'm going to give the edge in player count to Sushi Go Party. Now both games are marked as 8+, but I have played Donuts with players as young as 6, and that's gone over pretty well. In fact, I would say that Donuts caters better to the younger kids demographic. The fact that all the cards are face up, you can really help everyone, can help all the players on what exactly they mean and what they do. The only trouble is sometimes the immediate effect cards, but they are marked. I just wish they were marked a little bit better. But outside of that, yeah, so you can definitely help younger players. Whereas if other younger players might need help in Sushi Go, those closed hands, if you look at them, you're going to get an unfair advantage when you're trying to help, and that's going to actually affect the game. That being said, I still have had plenty of success teaching like middle school and high school age kids Sushi Go, and got no problem there. So I'm not going to give either one the edge in age range. It all just kind of depends. If you're playing with much younger kids, I would say Donuts plays better, but you can a little higher, and Sushi Go is better there. No, it all depends. Player interaction. Now, in Sushi Go, you're definitely watching what everyone is playing and putting down, but mainly you're going to be focused on the players on the sides, who you're passing the cards to, because you don't want to give them a card that's going to finish off a big point set, and then you also don't want to start trying to make a set knowing that the person passing you the cards is going to take all that sashimi that you want. So, those are your main ones that you're looking at. But a fun spiteful move, though, is maybe to hold on to the chopsticks to the very end so you can pass it off on the last go and give them nothing. Like being spiteful. It's a good time. In Donuts here, you're going to be battling it out with different players. It's going to keep changing depending on the sets of donuts and how they're going, right? Sometimes it's worth it to block out donuts just so someone doesn't get a huge set, but you really want to get points. So, it's going to you're going to have to really strategize and change what you're looking for and what you're trying to get. So I really like that. You can also get these immediate effect cards that give you negative points, but you can maybe steal some donuts from people. So that might be worth it as well to really screw over somebody who's got a nice set of donuts coming up. So they might have to try to block that, and it's all kinds of fun mind games that go. So the edge I'm going to have to give to Donuts. I just think it plays a little better interactively. I find that in Sushi Go, the entire table is just kind of quietly contemplating their cards and looking over. It's a little more poker-esque, where you're going to wait, quietly set your card down. All right, everyone flips. Oh, okay. Got what I wanted. He got what I wanted. All right, and you'll just keep going. Whereas in Donuts, again, all kinds of mind games keep coming, and you guys end up playing chicken. Sometimes groups of 2, 3, 4 people are going for that same card, and so is it worth it? Do I go for something else? If I go for something else, what else might be safe just to get me points? So a lot more interaction, a lot more spite there, a lot of fun. I'm going to give that edge again to Donuts. Now for replayability, they're a little bit different here, alright? Every game of Sushi Go, you're going to remove some of the cards, so there's imperfect information, and you're going to have to take risks, because you never know how many cards of each are going to be there in each round and total in the game. So that's going to, you're going to have to try to memorize what was in your hand, what might be coming back out to you, what other people are taking, and gauge your risks that way. So it's always going to seem a little bit different. And in this party version, there are a lot of different cards that you can switch in so that they score a little bit different. So you have different ways to score each time you play. So you're going to be going over different sets of cards and trying to get them in different ways. That being said, I still don't feel it changes the feel of the game too much when you switch out those scoring cards, but it's still nice to have that variety in there so the games are different. In Donuts, they're going to change out, the cards are going to be different based on the player count. You're going to mix in different cards. But outside of that, it's going to be very similar playthroughs. Obviously, your tactics are going to change depending on who's taking what and who you're playing against. But outside of that, I think the games are going to feel more the same. So the edge in this category is definitely going to go to Sushi Go Party. As far as components are concerned, they're pretty much just decks of cards. The difference with Donuts being you get your little cardboard tokens, and you have your numbered cards, which are the little mini cards. I do like the box better for Donuts because I hate the giant tin. The tins, they kind of suck on the shelf. They don't stack well. They open, when you don't want them to. When you're trying to transport them. That being said, though, Sushi Go Party has the scoreboard, and the score tracker there is just a huge plus. So even though I hate that tin, I'm going to give the slight edge to Sushi Go Party just for that scoreboard alone. It just makes a big difference as far as I'm concerned. Sushi Go's artist, Nan Rongzima, has managed to make one of my favorite foods appear equally cute and delicious. Every smiley, happy piece of sashimi nigiri makes me smile, as well as contemplate dinner. In Go Nuts for Donuts, artist Claire Donaldson has taken a similar approach in giving our sugary dough protagonists little faces full of emotion. I do appreciate the range of donuts, as they have different smiles, and some are more mischievous, and some are even sad, like the plain donuts who seem to know that they just aren't that fancy as their flamboyant counterparts. I'm going to have to give the edge here to Sushi Go Party, alright? It may be that I'm more partial to sushi, but I just like the look of the cards a little bit better. Part of it's the backgrounds, I like the light colored backgrounds in Sushi Go better. They just pop better than the plain white backgrounds of the donuts. So even though they have more expression than the sushi, I still like the sushi a bit better. Now after going over these two games, I'm going to have to say that the better game is Sushi Go Party. Alright, that one edges out for me. While I do find that Go Nuts for Donuts is the more exciting of the two, and definitely plays better with the younger demographic, I like the replayability and the thinkiness of Sushi Go Party just a bit more. Alright, I feel that it hits the table more, and I feel that my play groups like that one better. Now, is there space on the shelf for both of these? For me, I'm going to say yes, because I do play a lot with a younger player. I've got all my nieces and nephews. I work in a school. So for those younger players, this is going to be the better game. But overall, I'm going to say that Sushi Go Party is better. All right, so those are my thoughts. Tell me, do you agree? Am I right? Am I wrong? What do you think? Are you going to play them both? You're just going to keep one? What's better for you? All right, this is Coach Troy. I'll see y'all next time.